lot of people are talking about this topic. The name of the film is Half the Picture, and it's about the abysmal low numbers of female directors in Hollywood. And I think it's really important and there's 2 female cinematographers that actually filmed this this movie.
Me and Soraya, yes, absolutely.
We wanted to get your take on, like, why did you take on this project? What was the pitch and how did you get involved?
Well, I met Amy through a mutual friend, and she asked me to come on the project. And and after the first interview I shot for them, I was like, I knew that was it. I was on. It was such an amazing, in-depth interview. It felt like I was in a master class, and I knew I was committed to the project. And also, as a female DP, I have dealt with discrimination, sexual discrimination myself many times in the industry. So I was ready to be part of the conversation and to listen to other women, to the way they dealt with it. It was really great. And Amy was extremely professional, and it felt from the beginning that she knew exactly what she wanted, which is great.
And then how did you work with Soraya in this? I mean, you're both credited as DP, so did you create the look together?
Well, you know, the thing is, there have been so many interviews, and the way Amy did it, which was very interesting, because we each had our own frame when we were working together, so each person was kind of responsible for the frame. I was doing A camera, and she was doing B camera, which was the wides and the tights, and I was doing the medium shot frontal, and we had really worked on composing, and we ended up figuring out that we're working really well together, and we collaborated really well. I tend to do more lighting. She tend to make sure there's like texture in the background. So it was great. We end up working together very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you guys use zooms, primes? Like what kind of look did you have?
A camera used mostly primes. B camera used the zoom. I think most of the B-roll was shoot mostly on primes, some zooms.
And then in general, like when you're doing your docs, and you've done quite a few documentaries actually, do you tend to use zooms or primes? Like what kind of look do you go for?
Well, usually I tend to use zooms just because of the flexibility that I have, because I can tell people, wait, I need to change your lens, hold on, stop what you're doing. You know, you have to get it at the moment.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you are part of an organization in LA that's international, the International Collective of Female Cinematographers, which, you know, ZEISS was a part of the last holiday party, which was really great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Fun.
Yes,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But there was a room full of 46 female cinematographers.
Working cinematographers.
Working cinematographers, because you have to be a working cinematographer to be a part of that organization.
Yes.
So that talent is there.
The talent pool is there. It's but I think what it is, talking about minority, like I grew up on the Smurfs, and you know, there was all these different kinds of Smurfs and one girl Smurf. That's like that was the, you know, like so I think for a long time as women we felt like we can be the only one in the room because there can be only one woman and one minority in the room.
Right.
That maybe. Like women felt like, oh, we need to keep our position, we can't. But I think we're getting smarter, and we're realizing that the only way we're going to change it is by helping each other.
Yes.
You know, and not being afraid of helping each other, not thinking that we're going to take each other's space, understanding that way we're going to, you know, help gender parity happen by helping each other.
Yeah. Oh, no. Very important point to make there.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that it's more about coming together and working together than being divisive about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's say you had a dream passion project to pick in the future for your next feature film. What would you choose? Because would it be doc? Would it be fiction?
Oh, wow.
What kind of genre would it be?
Oh, it's so, I don't know. Whatever it is, it has to be good. It has to be interesting.
It has to be interesting.
Well, the truth is, between documentaries and narrative, shooting a bad documentary is better than shooting a bad narrative.
Oh.
Because at least you learn something, you're exposed to something, and shooting a bad narrative, you know, if dealing with bad acting, you're like, okay, I need to get away from the eye line.
Yeah. Right, yeah, let's try to hide this character a little bit more. You know, you mentioned about, you know, using your doc experience to create the feature, and at the same time, we tend to see that, you know, with the 4% of female cinematographers, a lot of this 4% is working in the doc world.
Well, you know, because we're underpaid.
Oh.
And when you think about it, there's less money in documentaries, and therefore it's more acceptable for women to be in it.
Oh, you think that's what it is, huh?
I think that's part of it.
Okay.
I think the more money there is, the less women there are. Even if you look like the top top percent. The higher the money in a film,
Yeah.
the less women are involved.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's part of the whole gender parity. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you get into cinematography? Did you go to film school? Like, what was it?
I started as a painter. I started
You
painting. And I took a bunch of painting classes, and then I moved to photography. And then from photography, I was like, oh, I might as well do cinematography. And then, yeah, I went to school. Yeah, and then I started working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started working quite, I learned a lot on sets, actually, more than anything, yeah.
Yeah. So your real schooling was actually the practical work itself.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I started as a gaffer, actually. I gaffed a bunch of movies in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you very cognizant of lighting in terms of when you're doing your work? Like.
Yeah, and I think also in documentary, I'm very aware of lighting. Even though sometimes I'll go into a room and I don't put any lights in it, but I'm very aware. Okay, where is the light coming from? What will be the most pleasing position to be in that will give me the most, and I'll try and position myself there and hope that it will fall around me, and if not, I have to move. But yeah, I'm always very aware of the lighting.
And then how does it play in terms of, working with your talent and stuff? Do you film them from certain angles, or, are you trying to create a look that way as well?
Yeah, I try to make them, be a little flattering to my subject and help them out when I can.
Yeah.
And also, I always try to stop every once in a while and engage and be like, I'm there with you. Like, I'm not always just looking here. I can say hi and I'm, just be present for them.
Yeah.
When I film them, yes.
And then do you see your camera as an extension of the audience, or do you see it as something that creates the character? Like, what do you see it as?
I see my camera as a tool that channels the character to the audience. But, sometimes you're more in there in the moment with them. Sometimes I feel like I have to move back and let them be and maybe use a longer lens and not be, because I always... One of the things that I do, I always ask the sound person to give me a lav so I can listen. So even if I'm far away, I still know what's happening. I'm still engaged with what's happening. But then I can feel and see, okay, they need me to back out a little bit, or I can walk in a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. So, but more about feeling their energy and knowing where they are at the moment, and trying to, let them go what they need to go through, but still be present for it.
Yeah, I was watching clips from, I think the trailer from Los Wild Ones, the documentary.
Yeah, that's a whole verite, yeah.
Yeah, and very much is that style of you were catching moments and reactions a lot, especially because there was performances in that as well, right?
Music performance, yeah.
Yeah. How was that working on that documentary?
Oh, that was great. That was a fun documentary to work on. We shot with them for 6 months, 5 days a week, and so they really, we were following different characters at different times, but yeah, they're great. They're very talented people, and I really love them and their music, and they're really, and that was the ones that some of them in the beginning were very shy in front of the camera, and then a weekend they were like, with the camera, we don't even see it, we don't even remember it's here.
Which is, you're like, that's perfect.
Yes.
Because now I can catch every one of your moments.
Yes, we did catch a lot. Yeah.
Cool, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Yamit, for coming.
Yes,
we really appreciate that. It's so wonderful that you have a film here, and I think it's a really important film, and people should watch it.
Yeah.
And I heard that there's a lot of interest, so hopefully you'll get distribution, and then you work on your next project.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you.